What's happening, y'all? Oh, it's a beautiful morning out here today. Up early. It's about sun shining. Uh, but now woke up this morning, getting my kids ready for school, and seen my little man playing with his dinosaurs, before I took him out to daycare or whatever. And they got me thinking. I'm like, I don't think a lot of people really realize, what we call dinosaurs might actually have really been. You know what I'm saying? Once again, this is just my theory, figured I'd share it with y'all. If you look at the world and the way things are right now, to me this makes a lot of sense. And I want to see if anybody out there, gonna rock with me on it. So this is my theory on what I believe dinosaurs actually are, and it ain't what, they show us in these museums. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a real representation of what dinosaurs may have been. Once again, this is just my opinion. So let's just jump to this whole flood scenario that we keep hearing about throughout different civilizations and cultures through history. Even the Bible speaks about a flood. So let's just say the world did flood. Now, what animals would survive? Obviously, humans, somehow we survived and made it through. So what land animals and sea animals could still live here along with us and actually thrive in this type of condition? So once the salt and fresh water mix from the flood, that lets you know any animal that's in the sea basically is fit to die, because most of them live either in salt or in fresh. There are a few that can live in both, so they're gonna survive and thrive. But for the most part, the predators, what predators gonna still be out there? Because you gotta remember, it's gonna be a lot of dead animals out in this ocean. Something got to clean it up. And for the religious people, God is omnipotent. So God is going to have a plan for this, to where, when I do this, I got to have something out here to clean this up. Common sense tells you this. Yeah, it's God. God can boom, But let's be real about this, Let's think, people. So now, what animals do we know can live on land, sea, salt, fresh, don't matter? Reptiles. Hello? Snakes, alligators, turtles, crocodile. All these animals, these reptiles, can survive either way. They good. Y'all don't realize this. Y'all don't understand the complexity behind these reptiles. That these things can live basically wherever they want to live and thrive in any condition. This is fact. You find snakes everywhere. You find crocodiles mostly, in more deep marsh areas. But if the world is flooded and there's a bunch of dead flesh out there for them to eat, these things are fit to be everywhere. And y'all, y'all can't believe this 40 days and 40 nights thing. Okay, this is where you got to get real. Like, come on. The whole earth not fit to flood and then recede in 40 days and 40 nights. This is just a parable. Y'all got to understand this. That's not logical. So this is eons now. There's centuries are going by where this water is starting to recede. Now you get the different stages of the Jurassic period, the Cretaceous period, all these, because you got to think about it. All this water got to evaporate and go somewhere. So yeah, it's the climate is gonna get murky. It's gonna get foggy, musty. There's gonna be years of this happening. Now, mind you, if for humans who survived were smart enough, they understood what was to happen, what the hell went on. They got the hell up in the mountains. Hello. This is why when you go up in these mountains, you see these old cave joints. Yeah, some weren't prepared and got screwed over and kind of reverted back to a caveman stage. And then you had others who were prepared. They brought the ark. It wasn't a boat. If you think about this, knowledge is key. You're going to need to understand how to rebuild civilization again. So you're going to need books. You're going to need to know how to write again. You're going to have to bring certain knowledge with you. Because when the land come back, you're going to need to know how to grow food. You're going to know how to build stuff again. Because now you're in the mountains, your resources are limited. Because you can only bring so many animals up there with you. You can only bring so much supplies up there with you. Because you understand the world is fit to flood. You see it happening. So you get your ass up in the mountains to high ground. This is why mountains keep popping up in certain parables and stories in certain religious books. They trying to tell you something. Look here. What's going to happen is going to happen. Ain't nothing we can do about it. This is just a different phase of the earth. So, come on, people, wake up. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. So now back to these reptiles and dinosaurs. Now, mind you, alligators and snakes and most of them really don't have no natural predators other than themselves and us. So now with the earth flooded, all these dead land animals in the water, all these dead sea animals in the water, guess what? These things are fit to eat, and they fit to have an abundance of food because they don't mind eating dead flesh. And water kind of preserves it a little longer than it would if it was on land because it's underwater now. So there's just dead flesh floating everywhere for these things to consume. So now they not eating each other no more. It's so much food around. And think how big a snake can get when it's left alone and has an unlimited source of food. Have you ever heard of the Amazon? People, think these snakes can get 30 feet down in the Amazon. If this thing is in nothing but water all the time, nothing but room to stretch and grow, and it's eating nothing but this flesh out there, what you think fit to happen? Think how big these things are gonna get. This is where you see these stories start to pop up, because once the water receded down and land came back and trees started to grow again, mind you, this is time going by. This ain't no overnight thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to really think about this. As the water started to go down, trees started to come up again. The people who kept the right knowledge started building boats. So now you know you can get around. But what they didn't realize is once they got on them boats and started seeing what was out there, it was like, oh, think how big these animals were. We were this size or probably a little bigger, but these things were still even that they outweigh us now. So think how massive these things were. Think about the stories in ancient civilizations where they talk about turtles and moving islands. It probably really was a turtle that fucking big out there in the ocean. That you see this thing, you think it's an island, and this thing get to moving. You're like, whoa. Yeah, this is true. These are facts. Come on, you have to understand biology, chemistry, science, all this stuff, history, all this stuff plays into one, and then you get to see the bigger picture. Come on, y'all can't just keep cornering yourselves in these one particular books, and this is just my theory. Y'all ain't gotta rock with it. I don't care if you do or don't, but to me it makes sense, especially if you go out in nature and look around and find out, well, that is true. Reptiles do get pretty big when they're left alone and they can't eat. We have discovered bones in these things, but see, they put these bones together in these museums. They don't even tell y'all that I think like maybe 40% of the bones of them animals are recreated. So this really may not be what this thing looked like, but we run with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it, because it's like, in the end, who do it really hurt? It really don't hurt nobody. Hold on in my t-shirt. That's all good. But you know what I'm saying? It really don't hurt nobody, because it really don't matter, but it's still good to know. Because then you can get a better understanding of these stories, and you can start to translate them correctly. Y'all reading people's history and going by, well, what this person's told you, and then what that person told you. Well, maybe what they telling you is basically what they telling you. Maybe it's not coded at all. Maybe it's just basically saying what he saw. If he say he seen a flying dragon, you might want to believe the nigga. They showing these big old snakes out in the water. Like, come on. Like, but then they're like, well, where did they go? Now, that's easy to explain. As the water receded, food supplies dwindled. And we do know snakes, alligators, and crocodiles and certain animals will eat each other. They started eating each other. Why you always see these, look at Chinese history when they speak about dragons fighting in the ocean. They really saw these big ass snakes out there fighting in the water. Like, this wasn't no fairy tales. But you have to understand the time. As time went on, most of them ate each other. The smaller ones got away because they weren't adequate enough. So they got away. Some of them made it to land. Some of them stayed out there. But for the most part, this is what they saw. This is really what happened. And then once the numbers got low enough where it was only a few of them out there, then man intervened. We start hunting them. Because we've seen through our history, we will kill some animals. Oh yeah, we will wipe some things off the face of the earth with no problem. So why we wouldn't do it to a bunch of snakes and reptiles on land? Yeah, we did it to buffalo. We did it to each other. Shit, we got this. So now you start to see what made, to me, I feel, what happened. Now you can take this, add your own times, and go from there. But it's really not a bad place to start. This is just what I woke up and thought about, and it's like, that makes sense. So, prove me right, prove me wrong. Go look for yourself. I ain't finna go from no books. I ain't gonna tell you what book to go look for. You supposed to be enlightened, smart, woke. Okay. Let me see what you know.